Welcome to Run of Show, the podcast that goes behind the scenes of the event industry, one story at a time. I'm Tanya, your host. I have a remarkable guest today who knows firsthand what it takes to step out of your comfort zone and onto a stage with confidence. Daniel Pennington is a leadership coach, keynote speaker, and stage fright specialist who has spent over 16 years working with business leaders, elected officials, and TEDx presenters across the US, Canada, and Australia. What makes Daniel's story especially inspiring is his own journey. In high school, he was voted the quietest in his class. That experience became the catalyst for his mission to help others overcome their fear of speaking and share their stories with confidence. Let's dive in. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for being here.
Well, I'm glid to be here.
So excited to have you on the show. I've been talking about you a lot.
Have you?
I have, because I guess as an excuse, I said, I need training. And by the way, Daniel Pennington has a new book out.
I do. I have a new book. Have you gotten it yet?
I have not gotten it yet. I need to. It's on my list.
Yeah, that's it.
As a solopreneur, there's...
you have a long list.
You cross one thing off, 10 more things jump up on the list.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah.
Well, I want to know about you first. Tell me, are you a Pensacola native?
No. I've lived all over the country. I tell people Nashville, but it's not. I mean, I've lived in California. I've lived in Indiana. I've lived in Pensacola now for 20 years. So I could almost say that I'm from Pensacola.
Yeah.
So that's that. Let's see, what else you need to know. I was in TV for 32 years, and I wasn't on camera, but I put people on camera, and really enjoyed it. It's a great gig. It's exhausting though, because everything's like right now. Matter of fact, when I quit TV and I went to work for Quint Studer, my direct report, the person that she was my boss. She outlined a few things, and then she said, well, Daniel, can you get those done in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, a month? In television, we just do it like today. Your deadline is, we have 5 deadlines a day.
Oh, gosh.
And you cannot miss those. Now, you can do a bad job on them, but you can't miss those because that TV is going to be on, TV station is on at these times, and you either hit it or you don't hit it.
Right, yeah.
So it felt... When I went to the Studer Group, and I worked with Quint for a while, and it just felt like so much luxury that I could think about things and work on things and all like that.
Yeah. That's why I like pre-recording things, because then you have time.
You have time, yeah. And then when Quint sold Studer Group, I left with him because he was the reason I was there. I wanted to learn everything he knew. And Quint said, well, I've got this SCI. What if you came and trained all the people there on public speaking? And I did. And for years, our mayor, everybody you know, probably has had some working with Daniel Pennington.
Right, okay. You have a new book out.
I have a new book out.
Tell me about your book. What's it called, first of all?
It's called Stop Stage Fright.
And where can we get it?
Amazon.
Amazon, okay.
Super simple. But it's, what happened was I was working with a graphics company, and everybody in the room was an artist, and I'm an artist, and so I get it. They're kind of they don't have a lot of they're very well. They have a lot of stage fright. Right. You know what I'm saying? And and so I was working with this company and talking to everybody. It was the best group I'd ever worked with because they were leaning forward and eager and all of that stuff. It was fantastic. But one man stood up and he said, hey, how is it that I was the shy, I was voted the quietest when I was in high school.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So how do you go from being the quietest to being up here and you're fun, engaging, and all of that stuff?
Right, yeah.
And he said, that's the story we want to hear, how you went from there to there. And honestly, I didn't have it mapped out. And matter of fact, I was so embarrassed about my childhood of being so shy that I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. But these people said, but that's the story we need to hear because that's the journey that we need to take.
Right, yeah.
And
Because that's their journey too.
It is their journey too.
Yeah.
And so the book being about stage fright, well, I talk about speaking in a bunch of different ways. And you might have needs about speaking that somebody else doesn't. But the people who have really serious stage fright, it's holding them back. It's keeping them from getting the jobs. It's keeping them from getting the pay, increase in salaries. It's really, it's destroying them.
Yeah.
And I talk to those people all the time. And I thought, well, why don't I just write a book for them, telling my story? And that's what we did. Is I wrote this book, and it's very encouraging, and it's got really it's 99 steps.
99 steps.
Yeah, so there's little short chapters.
Incremental steps, like I can do this today and do that tomorrow.
Well, I'd be glad.
Can you flip around in it?
Yeah, so I'm thinking that people will flip it open, and they'll have a meeting in 10 minutes. So they flip it open and they read one chapter, and it's like 3 pages.
Okay, all right.
But I learned something, and I learned something else, and then I learned something else. All of those chapters, cumulative, should give them a really good background on how to overcome stage fright.
Real quick, if you're getting value out of this, I'd appreciate it if you would smash that like button and subscribe for more content just like this.
Do you ever have stage fright?
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely.
Do you?
And
really?
my thing is, like you said, it's holding a lot of people back.
Right.
And I realize that. So now I do speak.
Yes.
So I've gotten over that first hurdle of just doing it.
Right.
Now I need to refine it. Yeah.
But yeah, so you're getting through it already. If you get the book, you read about it, we can talk about it. But it's just how do you overcome that? Now I'll give you one great example. This is for free, all right?
Okay.
It is when you show up to give and not to get. And what I mean by that is, when I was really shy, I would be, this is embarrassing to say, I would be really self-absorbed.
Right.
So I would be saying to myself, I wonder if my hair is okay. I wonder if my shirt's wrinkled. I wonder if I'm going to be able to, me, and also me, and also me. And I was so focused on myself that I didn't focus on them. So now, when I was still at the student group, Quint saw me training people, and they always got better. And so we were.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, but they got like marketably better.
Right.
He would come in and say, "Did you see what Daryl did?" Yeah, I trained him to do that. Right. But when I was there, we do all these LDIs. This is learning leadership development institute. We do those. So Quint's got me coming back to do one of those soon. And at one point, he just showed me a bunch of people in the room, 125 people in the room, and he said, "Get up there and teach them how to speak."
On the spot.
On the spot, yeah. And it worked really well. But what I did was, as I was getting ready and I was looking at the people, I thought, well, that's Cheryl, and I worked with her, and that's Tony, and he and I have become really good buds, and he's doing great. And I thought, well, as long as I'm focused on them, I'm not focused on me.
Right.
And so the trick here is to focus all of your attention on that other person. And if your shirt's stained, if your hair's messed up, if you say things wrong, nobody cares.
Right.
You have to be completely absorbed in how do I make their lives better.
Right. And what about talking to, you say you focus on this person, that person. I've heard the tip of focusing on one person, like talk to one person, or maybe pick one person on this side and one person on that side.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Talk to the person and not to the crowd.
Right. It is a one-on-one conversation, after all. There was a guy that part of several of these Rotaries, and every time that I spoke, he would sit up front and he would give me the best eye contact, and he would laugh at my jokes, and he'd nod along. And I told the guy, I said, I want you to be in every one of my audiences, because he was so good as an audience member.
Right.
And so
a plant.
A plant, yeah, but it really made a lot of difference for that. But yeah, in a room, depends. You got 40 people, it's one thing. If you've got 400 people, it's a different thing. But in most cases, we're most of the time talking to 40 people or less. And so, Yeah, it's more of a conversation. And that's the first thing I would say is don't give somebody a speech.
Don't give them a speech. Talk
Speech sounds like it's very formal, it's predictable, it's got huge words and stuff like that. We don't need that. We're friends. And then two, you can give a presentation. Now, it may be that Quint would want me to go and train on these things. And so that's a presentation, slide deck. It's predictable all the way through. I'm teaching, I'm training the whole time. But the best, if you can do it, is you have a conversation. And in most of the cases for you, unless you get to where you're doing a big group, you just have a conversation.
Right.
So if you get out there, what's the topic you might talk about?
Social media.
Social media. So if you're talking about social media and you say, well, Charlie, listen, I know you're on LinkedIn? Is that primarily on LinkedIn? Have a conversation with them. Get them involved. Talk to them. Ask questions.
Right.
One of my favorite people ever is a lady named Miss, I lost her name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She is a nurse, and she's a really great nurse. As a speaker, here's what she does, is she has a conversation with everybody in the room. Okay. And Margaret Stanzel's the name. Margaret will look and she'll say, okay, Tina, if you walk into a patient's room and the bed rail's down, what does that teach you? What do you know?
Right.
And she'll wait. And Tina will say, if the bed rail's down, there's a patient in the bed rails have got to be up. Exactly. And so she just back and forth the whole thing. I was training, and I'm not a nurse, and I'm in the back, and I'm thinking, she's not going to ask me questions, is she? She asked, everything was a series of questions. And it was so beautiful.
I did a little bit of that naturally in a talk I gave recently. I have this whole donut analogy to explain the differences of social media platforms. And as I go through my slides, I say, who's on LinkedIn? Yeah. You're on LinkedIn? Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Who's on Instagram? You're on Instagram? Yeah. So I need to lean more into that, I guess.
Yeah, well.
A little bit more of a conversation.
It sounds like you did that.
A little bit. I touched on it. Like say, oh, you're on LinkedIn? And then that's it. I could maybe say, you're on LinkedIn. How's that going for you?
How's that going for you? What are the benefits? What are the shortcomings of LinkedIn?
Conversation. Just a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more. But I mean, it's, I worked with a young man who's in medical. He's a medical specialist of some kind. And he was great. He was just a really good customer. And he was going to train over in Fort Walton Beach. And I said, can I ride with you? I'll just sit in the back, but can I ride? Yeah, absolutely. So we got there and we were a little early, and Ben is his name. Ben looked at me and he said, if I had one more tip before I go in there today, what would that be? And I said, ask questions instead of telling people answers. So if you say LinkedIn, that's a great platform for a lot of people. Now, what do you get out of that? And what are you using it for? And what are the limitations? Because all of them have limitations, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There are nuances.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy somehow or another. Never understood threads yet. Have you?
No, I haven't gotten involved with threads. And that's my tip for people. There's a lot of platforms out there.
Yeah.
But pick one to start that resonates with you and do well on that one instead of trying to spread yourself thin and then trying to do all the things to all the platforms and then trying to wrap your brain around them, especially if you're not technically savvy or you're not a social media savvy person. Pick one. Do it well. Learn it. And then expand from there. Now let's talk about virtual events. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. So that's great when you're in a room and you can talk to that person. How do virtual events. Now I've had virtual phone calls, but I've never done I've never led a virtual event. That's what I want to talk about. How do you do that? Because do you have them all up on the screen? Tell me about that.
So if in some cases you have a virtual event and you actually had a real event, live event, and then because it makes sense financially, you sell, virtual seats, and that's very much different. Because you got a camera and they're following this person back and forth, and the person isn't focused on that camera.
Right.
So he's not really talking to me. He's talking to somebody over there. It's okay, but it's I worked in TV, like I said, for a long time, and in TV, we had some strategies for how to do this.
Okay, tell me some of those strategies.
Well, some of the strategies are there's almost always two presenters.
Okay.
I mean, at least part of the time, you have an anchor and a co-anchor, and they sort of, this person talks and this person talks, and then they go away to a story, and then they come back and they've got some graphics, and then, all that. But it's really, the 30-minute show is actually about 24 minutes of content, and they've got videos, they've got, PowerPoints up on their thing, and all like that. So the first thing we do, I would tell you, is we do a tease, and we do a deep tease. So a tease would be at the beginning of the news. We would say, if you've just paid your homeowner's insurance, you're going to be surprised what happens next. Oh, gosh, I got to watch that. Now, that tease may be 6 minutes later before you tell the story.
You're right.
But it keeps
they're waiting
people.
For it.
Yeah,
they're waiting for that.
And then before a commercial, we'll almost always have a tease,
a cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger. Everybody in a car is required to wear a seatbelt, but we have all these school buses that don't have any seatbelts at all. Why do we do that? And are we putting our kids at danger?
Oh, that's a good topic.
And then you go away and you come back and you talk about that.
Yeah.
Turns out they're actually safer not being in a seatbelt than if they were in a seatbelt. But it's a great tease.
Right, that is a great tease, because now I want to know. I'm like, after we're finished up here, I'm going to go research
We
that.
never do any teases in our speeches. Right. If I get up on stage, I'm not thinking I need to tease things, but it's a good way to keep people engaged.
Right. Maybe you can, when you're doing doing a talk, you can add those teases in just like you would with a commercial, like when you shift from one topic to the next.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I worked with the sales team, and I taught them to tease. And so, like one of the guys, Harry, got up, and in the first time we tried this, he said, okay, how many of you love our reporting system? Everybody booed. And he said, exactly. We're going to fix that, and you're going to be happy with it, I guarantee. Now, he doesn't go into that right there. He leaves that, and everybody's like, okay, yeah, I want to solve this problem.
Right.
That's a tease. That's a way of using teases. We can all use teases all the way through.
Right.
But the first tease is just to keep your attention for a while. Then the deep tease is, if the Harry says, by the time we leave here today, you'll have a clear understanding of how this new system works, right?
Right.
So that's one of them, is the tease. We have to realize that if you're watching TV, got a 50-inch screen, it's a big screen, so you're really engaged with that screen.
Right.
If you're doing if you're doing this on your computer, your laptop, you got an 11-inch screen.
Right.
It's really hard. It takes more work to do that part, because I see them. They're over here typing on that, or they're writing something. They're distracted because of their. But you wouldn't be if you were in the room.
Right. Yeah. So you have to do a little bit more.
We have to work harder at it. Yeah. Make it more interesting.
These are fantastic tips. Yeah. But I want to know, so you said you were super shy. I can relate to that, because I used to be so super shy. I couldn't order pizza over the phone.
Yeah.
On your journey to get there, I'm sure you've had some struggles.
Sure.
Tell me about a time when you thought that you weren't going to pull it off, but then you did. You were like, oh my God, this is not going to work.
Oh yeah. Well, in high school, I was so quiet. I didn't talk to anybody. I mean, nobody. I could go an entire week without having a conversation with anybody. I was terrified of it. But I guess I was probably in junior in high school when I said, okay, this sucks. I mean, it was terrible.
Right.
I wasn't getting the grades, because you got to raise your hand.
Right.
And I was terrified of that.
Aww.
And then you can't get a job. I needed a part-time job. We were very poor. And, the idea of walking into a place and saying, Mr. Wilkinson's, I understand you need somebody on the weekend and all like that. No.
Oh,
and a girl, man, I just can't imagine. I mean, it's hard enough once you're an extrovert, but man, yeah. So I got to the point where I said, this is not going to work. I have got to fix this problem. And what I did was tiny little incremental steps. So I would, if we were all here and this is a busy coffee shop or something like that, I would sit kind of in the way so that almost everybody had to pass by me. And so it would start conversations that way. But it was just, I gave myself tasks.
Okay.
You know, you're going to sit in the middle of that room. You're going to talk to 3 people.
Right.
You're going to do, and it sounds ridiculous, but it was the tiny incremental steps to get there.
Right. Yeah.
And it took a long time. Also, we had a pretty good library in the high school, and I checked out every single book on psychology, and the librarian was watching me, and she said, you know, we have a lot more books in the back that we're just going to throw away.
Oh, wow.
We can get the janitor to go back there with you, and you can take it home as many as you want.
Oh, good.
And I loved it, man. I was reading that stuff all the time. How do you get over being shy? What is shyness? What is that? And it was a big deal.
Right. So you read all the books so we don't have to. We just come to you and you tell us what the book said.
Yeah.
You teach it to us.
That's actually the case. It is the book, Stop Stage Fright, is condensation of, 15 years of work, trying to get people. And a lot of my clients are shy. And so we have to talk about that.
How was your first event? Tell me, do you remember your first event that you got up and actually spoke?
Well, yeah, that's the one where Quint just said,
oh, is it? Okay.
150 people, go.
Yeah, and that was the first one.
Yeah.
150 people, and that's your first time on stage.
Yeah, but I had been teaching people.
In smaller groups or one-on-one?
Yeah, we'd have 8 or 10 people in the room.
Okay.
And I was teaching.
How does that compare to 150 people, though? Were you nervous?
Yeah, and still, yeah.
You're still nervous?
Yeah, I love it.
How do you get over that?
Well, I'm not sure you do. I think it's kind of good for you. You get, you imagine like a football player or a basketball player or somebody who's doing the Olympics or something. 10 minutes before they go on, they're nervous as heck. But it's all of that gives them a lot of energy.
Right. That adrenaline starts
that adrenaline,
going.
Yeah.
What's the largest crowd that you've spoken in front of live?
500 people. 500. End of last year in October. And it was fantastic. A standing ovation.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. I've never gotten a standing ovation.
No?
It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
They just really, here's what I did was, I couldn't see because I was well lit on stage, but they were in total darkness.
Right.
And so that was a little awkward. But I talked to this one young lady over here before the event. And so I would talk to everybody, but I would mainly focus on her. And what we had done is I figured out who these people were.
Okay.
These people are people who are working their tails off and not getting any real acclaim for it. They're not getting, congratulated for it. Well, I asked to do the last keynote at the very last of this conference for a reason. And I thought, I just need to do this. So what I did is I said, okay, before anything else, how many here are leaders? And a handful of hands went up, and I said, no, you're all leaders. I said, how many times have you seen your coworkers work their tail off and not get praised for it? And they said, oh, yeah, all that time. I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stand up, and you're going to point at the person that you know has been overlooked, and you're going to clap for that person. They all stood up. They all clapped for different people. Right. Well, we're not 15 minutes into the presentation. They've already stood up and clapped. So when it came time at the end, and I had a great close there at the end, they stood up again and clapped.
You got them used to it, but you trained them to do that.
You trained it. I've never done that before, but that's what happened. Our goal as speakers is to give the audience what they need, not what I want to give them.
Right.
And really understanding our audience a lot. And, in most cases, I'll get close to the event and I'll call the event coordinator and I'll say, what's going on with these people? And I had done a big presentation, had it all ready, and really was just calling in for the details. Mm-hmm. And I said that question, how is your team? She said, they're terrible. They've been beat up. We've had layoffs. We've got, wow. There may be more layoffs on the, in the beginning, mm-hmm. and everybody's doing 2 or 3 jobs, and they're horrible. Mm. And I went back and I took my speech and threw it away.
Oh, really?
Created something totally different. Yeah, because what they need is they don't need to know how to speak. Mm. They need to know how to just get through the next few days.
Oh, okay.
And that was a whole different presentation.
Right.
Yeah. But the presentation is not about me. It's them.
It's about them. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can I give them that they can go home with?
Right. Yeah. If I had to do a live event, I don't know if I'm ready to do. I speak for lunches. Yes. Little things. Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready for 150 people.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to be.
No.
Mm-mm. Matter of fact, I'm training a guy right now, and he will have, it's pre-planned at the end of, I guess, midsummer next year, he will have like 500 people and really important people mm-hmm. in the room. And so we decided that what he needs to do is to go to every Rotary he can, and they will let him, and then speak. Just do it all the time.
Right.
We don't learn how to swim by jumping off the diving board in the deep end. Mm-hmm. Right. That will only terrify us.
Right. Yeah.
But we can play around in the kiddie pool for a long time mm-hmm. before we start getting our face wet.
Right. With your floaties. Yeah. Yeah. Get Daniel's book. That's your floaty.
That's your floaty.
That's your floaty.
Yeah, and invite me. If you have an event, somebody's got something going on, mm-hmm. invite me. I'll come out and speak to the whole group.
Oh, okay, that's great. I'm putting you on my list.
Yeah. Well, there's probably somebody who's, because I didn't think about this, because you do all these events. Mm-hmm. What was it? I came across something yesterday, and they said, I know what it is. It's a TEDx talk somewhere. And one of their people squirreled out at the last minute, and he doesn't know how to handle it. Oh. Because he's had other people, but I'm different because I can do it at the last minute.
Right, right.
And his people, maybe can't. They're mm-hmm. not used to doing it at the last minute.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Last minute's really tougher for me.
I have pre-planned,
mm-hmm.
I've done these, I know it works kind of thing.
Right.
But
well, that's what I'm finding too. The more I do these things, the more I have a bank of things to pull from.
Sure.
Right. So,
but I for your sake, I would just do. You got a church with 4 people in the back room. Talk to those 4 people.
Right.
Do you know that that's way a lot of people have done that? Is they say, I'm just going to speak all the time, mm-hmm. all the time,
right.
Make all my mistakes. It's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. The other thing you'll see in my book is nobody cares that you made a mistake.
Right. Yeah.
They probably don't even know.
They probably don't even know. Right.
Right. Because if I say to you, put the horse before the cart, and of course I meant it the other way around, what happens is most people just instantly
their brain
reword it.
Yeah. Because they've heard it before. Yeah. Your brain autocorrects. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and I tell people this all the time. Our audience really does want us to succeed.
Right, because they came there for the value.
Right. Can you imagine going to your favorite concert, your favorite superstar, and you're standing in the front row and just going, I hope these people suck?
No, definitely not.
No,
definitely
you
not.
want them to be successful. And so we, as speakers, we tend to get more credit than we really should. I mean, people mm-hmm. laugh at your jokes mm-hmm. better. They help you out if you make a mistake or whatever, mm-hmm. All of that stuff. But they want you to be successful. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to go to something and say, I'm going to this because it sucks.
Right. Unless they don't like them. They're like, I want to watch you fail.
No. I've never seen that.
Never seen that.
No, I've never seen that.
People aren't that. Well, they can't. Anyway.
I've done a lot of speeches, a lot of different places all over the country now. And I can't think of a time when somebody wished me poorly.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even make sense.
No, that's in the movies. Tell me about a time when everything went right. Yes. Like, what was your favorite event? Besides the standing ovation? That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
What makes a really great event for you?
Well, it's all about what they get out of it.
Okay.
I mean, if I could change your life, even just a little bit, yeah, that's fantastic. I'm not there for me. As soon as anybody shows up and they think, well, wait until they get a load of me, and the salespeople, oh my gosh, and the business owner that thinks he's a hot stuff, and all of and they're just thinking about, I'm hoping I can sell some of my whatever's in this. It's terrible.
Right. Yeah. Well, and when you're giving like elevator pitches, they say start with the pain point.
Yes.
Which makes sense because you want to find out how you can help them. What can I do for you? Where are your problems? Instead of saying, I've got this product, you should totally buy it. First, you need to find out if they're a right fit for your product.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's interesting because that's a whole different discussion. What a pitch looks like is different than a presentation.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Pitch is, I will tell you all the time, is that if you don't understand the pain point, you're never going to be successful.
Right.
And a lot of people get excited about the solution and they jump right into the solution. Here's our solution. Here's how it's going to work. And here's how many people and all this stuff. And the people with the big wallets are looking and going, why would I invest in this? I don't even know what it is you're selling.
Right, right.
Do you go to the 1 million cups?
No, I haven't been.
Well, you should go.
Okay.
And just listen to them and say, if I were the person with with a lot of money, would I invest in that? And most of the time, and 80% of the time, if they failed, it's because they're too focused on themselves and their solution and how they're going to do it and how it's all going to work.
Right.
But we don't even, let's start with, is there a problem? And then is that problem bad enough that you would spend money to fix it? And what are they doing now? I mean, you didn't show up, with somebody that never had utensils before,
Right.
So you can make it better for it. But at some point, they're doing pretty well.
Right.
And of course, AI has just given us so many possibilities, and a lot of it can be headaches, but it's a whole different world than just a few months ago.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Exponential leaps and bounds with AI. All right, so let's get into some of your best practices. Now, like I said, I need all the tips. But let's give you your top 3 tips for if I'm going to, again, like say, speak at a luncheon. What are some ways that I can get over that stage fright just before I get up to speak?
Number 1, there's always a scrum. I don't know if there's a better word for it. I know, but it's there. We're getting ready for the presentation. We're getting ready for our launch, and all these people are milling about. I will go and make sure that I talk to 3 or 4 people. Okay. And I just want a few little details. So you work for Gary? Okay, great. Gary's a great guy. I've met him. He's an exciting guy. Do you like working for him? How long have you worked for him? And what's the best thing that he does? And then, and then I go to somebody else. And then I will work that into the presentation. But it also makes me less shy because I
built a little bit of rapport with
these are my friends.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
I like that.
And it's almost always, there's a period of time, people are moving out, the next people are moving in, all that craziness. And during that time, just take people aside and do the scrum, have conversations with people. Somebody's going to introduce me. And so I want the person with the most credibility to do the introduction. I don't care where you are in the system, but if Quint were in the audience, I would say, Quint, will you do the introduction? Because everybody loves him, right? So number 1, make conversation, know something about your audience. Number 2, get introduced. If you can, get introduced by the most senior person that you've got, and then you write your own bio. Because if you leave it up to them,
right?
Some people really do a bad job.
Really?
Yeah. And so I give them. It's short, but you have to put it in big font, like 16-point font, because we're all getting older, and a lot of times the podium is not in the broad light,
right?
And so it's dark up there. So print it out. I actually send it ahead of time. They will lose it. So bring a copy. There you go. Here's your copy. and that should work well. Yeah, question and answer, all the way through. Just especially if you've got a small group, you can say, "Hey, Danny, what do you do?" I mean, you can have a conversation with him or her, right? Number one thing I want you to do is vocally is to pause.
Right.
You and I talked
about the pause.
Power of the pause, because if you say something and you just run through it, it's like riding a motorcycle through an art museum.
Right.
There's some good things there, but we kind of got past them before I had a chance.
And I noticed that too, the power of the pause.
Yeah.
I've learned that in my Dale Carnegie course with Katie. That power of the pause when you introduce yourself. A lot of times, especially with those elevator pitches, we have 30 seconds.
Right.
And people say, "I'm so-and-so with such and such. And I do da-da-da." And you didn't even hear what they said. You didn't even catch their name.
Right.
And the power of the pause. So I am Tanya with Seabrook Marketing. So it's pause, part, punch. Tanya with Seabrook Marketing. You're going to hear that. And then I reiterate it at the end, you're going to hear that. But if I say, "I'm Tanya with Seabrook Marketing, and I do marketing and all the things."
Exactly.
No, yeah.
But it goes for a lot of things. If I want to underline a word, then I can do it just with a pause. I can say, Daryl started this company planning from the beginning to do this kind of work. And you hear the pauses, and then if I say planning again, then a third time, if you do 3 times in a row, now he's planning for us to be successful. He is planning for us to become much bigger than we are now. And he is planning what we've just done, which is getting additional investments.
Right.
Hear that 3 times in a row. You look at Martin Luther King, I have a
Wonderful
dream.
Speaker.
How many times did he say, "I have a dream"? It's over and over and over again. And so repeating, using the pause to underline a word or a thought.
That you want to emphasize.
It's like underlining.
Underline it.
And
repeat it.
Yeah, and repeat it. And if you repeat the same phrase over and over again, they go away. They understand that. We have to understand that they're not going to get everything.
Right.
And if you go really fast without pauses, then they're going to miss everything. And so the pauses are, I'm here, and then I stop that subject, and then I'll go to a different part of the stage, and I'll do the next little piece, and then the next part over here, the next piece, right? And that kind of breaks it up for everybody. I'm not a fan of the podium.
Right. Yep. Also in Dale Carnegie, they say, "Don't stand behind the podium."
Well, the challenge is if you have 150 people in the room, then a lot of times they'll just go, "Yeah, there's the microphone right there on the podium." No, I don't want to be on. So that is plan ahead. If you got 150 people, ask them, "Can I get a wireless mic?" And if you can't, if you can get a mic on a stand, a mic stand, that will work. But we need to see your body. We need to see you gesture. We want you to get involved and be, all of this. Right?
Do you think that helps to bring people in?
The scientists tell us that 80% or more of our communication is nonverbal. Yeah. And so we did this, oh my gosh, we brought in this lady who is a superstar, academic, Ivy League, fantastic, has written all these books, and she is it.
Okay.
And then we had this time where we all sat together in a room, not much bigger than this, and she gave a presentation, had a PowerPoint and her laptop and a podium. She's 5 foot tall. So the podium was like here, and then her laptop was here.
Right.
And she literally read her presentation.
Oh, no.
And it was such a shame because she's the expert of all experts. Her walking around knowledge that she just got all the time would have been more than enough for us. But instead, she read the presentation, and we lost focus. We were just like, "Oh, is this the whole thing?" You start looking around and saying, "Can I get out of here?"
Right.
And it's a shame because if she would have done this, if I could have coached her, get your chair or stool like that and go sit in the middle of the room and say, "Let's talk about this."
Right.
And have a conversation the people in the room are friends of mine. I know them. They're really bright. And they would ask fantastic questions. And it would be a great discussion. Instead of her going, slide, read, slide. I always tell people, if you're going to read your slides, just send them to me and you stay home. Because I can read. I've been doing that for a couple of days now, you know?
Right.
So
that's one of my pet peeves with PowerPoints is that there's a rule to PowerPoints. It's the 5-7 rule. And people will put the whole paragraph on the PowerPoint.
oh yeah, that's awful.
Like, yeah, it's terrible. Like I'll put a word.
A word, yeah.
One word. We're going to talk about this word. And then I'm going to tell you the explanation, because also people then they start reading the thing and they're not listening to you.
And it's this. I'm looking over here, and then I'm looking back at you. I'm looking over here.
Right. Like you don't know what you're talking about.
And it's just, it's exhausting, you know? We should be totally focused on you if you're speaking.
Right, yeah.
Not on, but I mean, I get it. Al Gore won Oscar in like 3 different things because of his PowerPoint about the seas are rising and, you know, all that stuff. And he had these massive images. I mean, it was like probably 25 foot tall, probably 50 foot wide.
Oh gosh.
And it was all projected. But it would have some kind of a notation on it. And it would say, this is Norway's coast today, and then click Norway tomorrow. And it was amazing because the images were so astounding.
Hey there. Just as a reminder, you can find this on all your favorite podcast platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, wherever it is that you listen to your podcast. And if you would like to see our beautiful faces, you can find us on YouTube. I want to know, what is the best way for people to get a hold of you? Because I asked that question and people, well, you can get me here and here and here and here and here. But what is the best way for people to contact you?
Okay. Well, I am everywhere, and I am oversaturated. I do things that I don't really get any benefit out of it, but I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook almost every day.
Okay.
But I have telephone number is 850-390-1839, and email address is Daniel Pennington at speaker, SPEAKER hyphen, I know that's weird, hyphen training, TRAINING .org.
.org.
I know, it's complicated.
Yeah, that's really long.
But
that's why I like QR codes.
I know you do. You have to teach me how to do that, I guess. But yeah, so that's the best way to get a hold of me. But I'm really flexible. So if you want to call, have a conversation, you wanted me to come over and sit with you, and as we just have, happy to do that. You know, my biggest thing, and the book talks about this, my biggest thing is I want you to be better. I have an absolute fixation on we can help these people who are being held back because of their stage fright.
Because of stage fright. Yeah.
And we can fix it. And I'm determined to do that with as many people as possible.
Good.
Especially when they're good people that should be getting all the...
Right.
You see it all the time where somebody will... we're just talking about... I think her name is Martha. And Martha's at this company. She runs everything. She's totally focused on everything. But when it comes time to give a presentation, she hands somebody else the notes and lets them do it. Well, she keeps getting passed over. There's a new guy came on, blowhard, just really kind of a jerk. Oh. And 2 years later, they made him her boss. Oh, wow. Yeah. Because she won't step up. Yeah. We need you to be out there. And I know it's difficult. And I know a lot of times you think about, I will never be able to do this. But I guarantee you, if I won the Quietest in our annual, and I have an annual at home, Daniel Pennington, Quietest. Everybody else is better, best looking, all those other things. And I know what it feels like.
Right. Well, you're pretty good looking with them blue eyes of yours.
Well, now be careful. My wife might see this. You know my wife.
I do. Donna, I love Donna. She is so sweet.
She said to me today, make sure you tell her I said hi.
Oh, okay. Well, tell her I said hi.
All right.
Yeah, I absolutely love her. She's great. She's got these restaurant books that she told me all about that she has for select hotels. And I just thought that was such a brilliant idea. I love it. I love it. And they're so beautifully put together. She does a really great job. And I'm going to tell everybody about that. All right. Give me your sage words of wisdom that you would like to leave our listeners with.
Don't focus on yourself. Focus on the people you're there to help. And really think about it in terms of helping them. And I know if you're doing social media stuff, I could be, and I probably am, I could be wasting a lot of my time on Instagram or something like that and getting nothing for it. And you could tell me, here's how you do it, and you could lay out fairly quickly just over coffee what I should be doing.
Right.
And that's fantastic, right? That you would be able to help me. So show up, go in, think, I want to help these people. I want to give them something. In the end, we will all die. And as we get to those last moments, I want to make sure that I've helped people.
Right.
That have been of service.
Right.
You know?
That's great. I love that. That's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Well, I appreciate you sitting down and talking with me today.
Right. Anything else I can help you with?
Well, yeah, there's a whole long list, but we'll get to that after the podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
absolutely.
right. Well, the podcast is fantastic. I went back and watched some of the previous versions. Fantastic, great content, and it's just so comfortable to listen to.
Good. Thank you. Thank you.
It's it's great what you're doing, but think, how can you help other people?
Right.
Right.
Right. Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
very much.